Section 85. Mahamate once more asked the Buddha, according to a statement made by the Bhagavan, the Buddhas of the past are like the sand of the Ganges, as are those of the future and the present. Bhagavan, are we to accept this as stated? Or does it have another meaning? May the Tathagata be so compassionate as to explain this. The Buddha told Mahamate, you should not accept this as stated. The number of Buddhas in the 3 periods is not like the sand of the Ganges. And why not? Because they surpass worldly expectations and are not comparable to any comparison. But because foolish people are attached to permanence, and because followers of other paths foster their own pernicious views and projections, and their births and deaths are endless, in order to encourage their aversion to the wheel of birth and death, and their efforts to advance, I tell them Buddhas are easy to encounter, not like the Udambara flowers, which are hard to encounter, and they are worth looking for. But other times, when I see those who are receptive to instruction, I tell them Buddhas are as hard to encounter as an Udambara flower. An Udambara flower has never been seen, is not seen, and never will be seen. Tathagatas, however, are seen in every world. But the reason I liken a Tathagata's appearance in the world to an Udambara flower is not in order to establish personal understanding. Mahamate, those who establish their own understanding are beyond worldly expectations, and ordinary people find it hard to believe them, for there is nothing to which the realm of personal realization of Buddha knowledge can be compared. Tathagatas are truly beyond the characteristics perceived by the mind, the will, or conceptual consciousness. They are beyond comparison. Nevertheless, Mahamate, my comparison of Tathagatas to the sand of the Ganges is not mistaken. Mahamate, they are compared to the sand of the Ganges, because when turtles or otters or lions or elephants or horses or people or animals tread on it, the sand doesn't give rise to projections and think, they are disturbing me. For its nature is pure and free from such defilements. The self-realization of Buddha knowledge of the Tathagatas, the Arhats, the fully enlightened ones, is the Ganges, while their higher powers, spiritual faculties, and masteries are the sand. No matter how animals and people and followers of other paths try to disturb them, Tathagatas do not give rise to projections or concerns. Tathagatas remain at peace and free from thoughts of discrimination. And the freedom of Tathagatas from disturbance is no different than that of the sand of the Ganges, because they have vowed to comfort beings with the bliss of samadhi, and because they have eliminated anger and desire. For example, the essential nature of the sand of the Ganges is earth. But when the kalpa-ending fire burns up everything made of earth, the essential nature of the element of earth is not lost, because it arises together with the element of fire. Fools in other worlds imagine that earth is burned up, but earth is not burned up, because fire is its cause. In the same manner, Mahamate, a Tathagata's dharma body is indestructible, like the sand of the Ganges. Mahamate, just as the sand of the Ganges is beyond measure, a Tathagata's light is likewise beyond measure. It shines on all Buddha assemblies everywhere in order to bring beings to maturity. Mahamate, just as the sand of the Ganges could never seek to be other than sand, likewise, Mahamate, the Tathagatas, the Arhats, the fully enlightened ones, are free from birth and death, origination and cessation, because they have put an end to the cause of existence. Mahamate, just as it is impossible to know if the sand of the Ganges increases or decreases, the same is true, Mahamate, of the wisdom of Tathagatas that brings beings to maturity. For it neither increases nor decreases, because it is not a physical dharma. Physical dharmas can be destroyed, but the dharma body of a Tathagata is not a physical dharma. And just as pressing the sand of the Ganges does not produce cooking oil, Even if Tathagatas are pressed by beings in the most intense kinds of pain because of their great compassion, as long as any being has not yet attained nirvana, they do not abandon the Dharma realm for the wished-for joys of samadhi. Mahamate, just as the sand of the Ganges flows together with the river's water, and not where there is no water, likewise, Mahamate, all the teachings spoken by the Tathagatas flow together with nirvana, and thus are said to be like the sand of the Ganges. However, Tathagatas do not flow or go anywhere, because to go means to disappear. Mahamate, the ultimate beginning of samsara, cannot be known. And because it cannot be known, how can anyone speak of going? Mahamate, foolish people do not understand that to go means to cease to exist. Mahamate asked the Buddha, Bhagavan, if beings cannot know the ultimate beginning of samsara, how can they know liberation? The Buddha told Mahamate, when one understands that the external world is a perception of one's own mind, the cause of the habit energy of beginningless projections ceases, and there is a transformation of one's imaginary body. This is liberation, not cessation. Therefore, what has no boundary does not mean nothing at all, because such an expression as what has no boundary is a product of projection. Whether you look inside or outside, apart from projection, there are no other beings. Whether it is what knows or what is known, everything is still. As long as you don't recognize that your projections are perceptions of your own mind, projections arise. Once you do, they cease. The Buddha then repeated the meaning of this in verse.
Who views the Tathagatas like the sand of the Ganges, not destroyed or disappearing, they can see the Buddhas. What is a Buddha's body like? Like the sand of the Ganges, flowing unpolluted, flowing on forever.